Most people think betrayal hurts because someone lied to them, cheated on them, or walked away from them. That's the surface-level explanation. The real damage is far darker than that. The real damage begins the moment your mind realizes that the person you trusted the most has become the very thing your nervous system no longer feels safe around. That's why healing feels so confusing. That's why you can be months or even years removed from someone, yet still feel ambushed by memories you never invited back. A random song, a familiar perfume, a restaurant you forgot existed, one sentence, one photo, one ordinary moment, and suddenly your chest tightens like your body is reliving something it never truly escaped. People around you think enough time should have fixed you by now, but what they don't understand is that betrayal is not a normal emotional wound. It is a psychological collapse that changes the way your brain interprets trust, attachment, memory, and even reality itself. You were told that time heals all wounds, but what nobody told you is that time also records pain. It stores it, replays it, preserves it in places you don't consciously control. Because when the person who once felt like your safest place becomes the source of your deepest confusion, your mind doesn't just experience heartbreak, it experiences disorientation. The person who once gave your life emotional direction suddenly becomes the reason your inner world no longer feels stable. And when that happens, your brain doesn't simply move on because the calendar changed. It starts scanning for danger. It starts replaying conversations, reconstructing memories, looking for the exact moment everything fell apart. That's why you can lie in bed at night exhausted, wanting peace, yet still feel mentally trapped in conversations that ended years ago. Your nervous system is not treating betrayal like a sad memory. It's treating it like unfinished survival information. This is why so many people secretly feel broken after betrayal. They think, why am I still thinking about this? Why can't I let go? Why does it still hurt this much? But the answer isn't weakness. The answer is that betrayal creates a total system failure inside the human mind. When someone you loved deeply destroys the trust that held your emotional world together, your brain loses certainty itself. The future you imagined collapses. The memories you cherished become contaminated. Even your instincts begin to feel unreliable because the person you trusted most was able to hurt you while you were emotionally exposed. That kind of psychological contradiction leaves scars deeper than most people can comprehend. And this is where the frustration becomes unbearable, because from the outside, life appears to continue normally. The world keeps moving. People expect you to laugh again, function again, date again, trust again. But internally, it feels like you are dragging an invisible weight through every part of your life while everyone else walks freely. You try to distract yourself. You try to stay positive. You try to think logically, but betrayal doesn't live only in logic. It lives in the nervous system. It lives in emotional memory. It lives in the subconscious associations your brain built around safety and attachment. That's why you cannot simply reason your way out of pain that was emotionally wired into your body. This is not just emotional sadness, it is neurological shock. And the longer you misunderstand it, the longer you will blame yourself for healing at a pace that was never realistic to begin with. Today, we are going to dismantle the illusion that healing from betrayal is supposed to be quick, clean, or linear. We are going to expose the biological shadow betrayal leaves behind and why certain memories continue haunting people long after the relationship itself is gone. We are going to break down why your mind keeps revisiting the pain, why closure often feels impossible, and why the version of you that existed before, the betrayal, can never fully return unchanged. Because the truth is, healing is not about pretending the wound never happened. It is about becoming someone emotionally stronger than the pain that once controlled you. If you feel like you've been emotionally frozen while the rest of the world moved on, there is a reason for that. You are carrying a form of psychological weight that most people avoid confronting because it forces them to face uncomfortable truths about trust, attachment, and human nature itself. And by the end of this analysis, you are going to understand why the pain has lingered for so long, why forcing yourself to get over it only deepens the struggle, and why true healing only begins when you stop trying to erase the ghost and start becoming too strong for it to control you anymore. The first reason your healing feels like it's stalled is what we call the shattered compass. Most people think infidelity is just about sex, but it's actually about reality reconstruction. For years, you built your reality around a set of core assumptions. That she was who she said she was, that your past was what you thought it was, and that your future was secure. When the betrayal is revealed, your past is retrospectively poisoned. You start looking at old photos and wondering, was she lying then? Was that smile real? Your brain is forced to rewatch every memory you have through a lens of deception. This is a high CPU task for the human mind. You aren't just healing from a breakup. You are auditing a lifetime of lies. This mental audit consumes your energy, leaving you drained, foggy, and angry. You can't move forward because your brain is still stuck in the past, trying to find where the truth ended and the performance began. This leads directly into the cortisol loop. When you were betrayed, your amygdala, the alarm system of your brain, went into red alert. It never turned off. You are now living in a state of hypervigilance. You aren't just checking her phone. You are scanning the environment for threats that don't even exist yet. Your body is dumping stress hormones into your system at 3 a.m. because it thinks it's still in the jungle. This biological stress makes logical healing impossible. You can't think your way to peace when your blood is full of war chemicals. This is why you feel aged, why your hair might be thinning, and why your focus at work has evaporated. You aren't lazy. You are neurologically exhausted. You are a soldier who has left the battlefield, but is still carrying the rucksack. Think about the slow-motion train wreck of Gavin. Gavin was a high performer, a man who prided himself on mental toughness. When he discovered his wife's double life, Gavin decided he was going to power through. He didn't take a day off. He didn't process the grief. He told himself, "It's just a woman. I've got work to do." He stayed in the house, coexisting with the betrayer, thinking that by ignoring the wound, it would cauterize itself. Gavin is the loser in our story because he engaged in emotional suppression. He thought strength was silence, but silence is just internalized rot. Because he didn't establish a hard boundary, the infection spread. He started drinking to mute the noise in his head. He started snapping at his children because his patience was borrowed from his pain. 2 years later, Gavin didn't heal. He collapsed. He lost his promotion, his health failed, and he realized that by staying in the fire, he had burned away his soul. Gavin proved that a man who negotiates with his trauma to keep his routine ends up losing both. He showed us that endurance without exit is just self-torture. He was waiting for time to do the work that only distance could accomplish. The fourth major realization is the identity ghost. For as long as you were with her, your identity was intertwined with her approval. You were a husband, a partner, a provider. When she devalued you through her actions, she murdered the version of you that existed in that relationship. You are now mourning a dead man. The reason healing takes so long is that you are trying to revive a ghost instead of birthing a sovereign. You keep asking, how could she do this to me? But you don't even know who me is anymore. You are relearning how to walk, how to eat, and how to dream as a solitary entity. This isn't a repair job. It's a total rebuild. And palaces are not built in a weekend. We must also analyze the intermittent reinforcement trap. If you are still in contact or still checking her social media, you are re-traumatizing yourself on a loop. Every time you see a post or hear her voice, your brain gets a hit of familiarity, followed by a stab of betrayal. This creates a trauma bond. It is an addiction to the pain. You are picking the scab every time it starts to hinge. You wonder why the wound is still bleeding after a year, but you've been stabbing it every Friday night when you spiral into investigation mode. Healing requires absolute sensory deprivation of the source. You cannot clean a wound while the knife is still inside. Furthermore, the sovereign man understands that society is gaslighting you. Friends will tell you to move on. Family will tell you, there are other fish in the sea. This minimization makes you feel guilty for your grief. It adds a layer of shame to your pain. You think, I should be over this by now, which creates a secondary trauma. You are now beating yourself up for not being healed enough. This internal civil war is what stalls the progress. You have to give yourself permission to be devastated. You have to accept that your world was nuked, and you don't plant a garden in radioactive fallout until the soil is scrubbed. The sixth reason is the ego's resistance to the truth. Your ego wants to believe that if you just knew the why, you could fix it. It craves closure. But closure is a mirage sold to desperate men. The why is always the same. She lacked the character to protect the vow. That's it. There is no deep psychological mystery that will make it make sense. But because you keep searching for the missing piece, you are stuck in the puzzle. You are waiting for her to give you the key to a cell that isn't even locked. The reality is that your heart is lagging behind your intellect. You know she is toxic. You know she is gone. You know she lied. But your emotional body hasn't received the memo yet. It still expects the morning text. It still expects the support. This disconnection between your head and your chest creates a static that paralyzes you. You aren't broken. You are out of sync. You have to realize that healing isn't the absence of pain. It's the presence of power. You aren't waiting for the memory to fade. You are building a life so massive that the memory becomes a footnote in a masterpiece. Behavioral observations of sovereign men suggest that the turnaround only happens when the pain of staying the same finally exceeds the pain of letting go. You are the source. You are the value. If your healing is slow, it's because you are still trying to save the house while the land is swallowing it whole. Most people react. Few people understand. If you're here to think deeper, not louder, you belong here. Subscribe and stay with the ones who choose clarity over noise. Leave a comment if you're part of the conversation. No ego, just awareness. The seventh reason your healing takes longer than you expected is the ghost of the future self. When she betrayed you, she didn't just kill the present, she aborted the future you had already mentally lived. Your brain had already allocated resources for the retirement, the kids' graduation, and the golden years. When that timeline is snap frozen, your brain goes into a grief loop, trying to reclaim those invested emotions. You aren't just sad about her. You are mourning the man you were supposed to become. The sovereign man understands that he must liquidate that dead future immediately. You cannot build a new city on land that is still reserved for a ghost town. This leads to the chemical detox of the attachment. Whether she was good or bad, your brain was wired to her validation. Betrayal is essentially a forced detox. Your dopamine and oxytocin levels have crashed, and you are experiencing withdrawal symptoms that feel like physical pain. This is why you crave a text or a conversation even though you hate her. You are an addict looking for a fix from the person who poisoned the supply. Healing takes time because your neural pathways have to physically wither and regrow toward a new source. Yourself. You are rerouting the electricity of your soul from her approval to your achievement. Let's look at the sovereign transformation of Zayn. Zayn was a man who had defined his worth by the stability of his home. When he found out his stability was a stage play directed by his wife's infidelity, Zayn didn't wait for an explanation. He knew that explanations were just more scripted lines. Zayn didn't try to heal in the same environment where he was hurt. He understood that you cannot recover in the active radiation zone. Zayn is the winner in our story because he practiced the law of radical displacement. He didn't just leave. He redefined his entire reality. He moved to a new city, took a high-pressure role that demanded absolute presence, and severed every digital and social link to his old life. He didn't do this out of fear, but out of efficiency. He knew that every look back was a step backward. Zayn treated his healing like a military campaign. He sanitized his environment, regimented his body, and weaponized his pain to fuel his professional ascent. Zayn won because he realized that healing isn't a feeling. It's a product of distance and discipline. A year later, Zayn didn't forgive her, and he didn't hate her. He simply forgot the version of himself that needed her. He became unrecognizable to his past. He proved that a man's greatest revenge is to become so high value that his old trauma can no longer find him. He stayed sovereign because he refused to negotiate with the remains of a lie. The ninth major realization is the fallacy of the last conversation. You keep thinking that one more talk will make it click. You think that if she finally understands your pain, the weight will lift. This is a submission trap. You are giving her the power to authorize your healing. But truth doesn't come from a liar. The closure you are seeking is actually just permission to let go. And you are the only one who can sign that paper. Stop asking the enemy for the key to your handcuffs. The sovereign man realizes the door was unlocked the moment he stopped caring about the why. We must also address the parasitic ego. Your ego is offended that you were devalued. It wants to win her back just to leave her. It wants vindication. This need to win is what drags out the process. You are tethered to the betrayer by your pride. You have to kill the ego to save the man. You have to accept that being devalued by a low-value person is actually a compliment to your integrity. A counterfeit cannot value a real asset. It can only trade it. Furthermore, behavioral observations suggest that the longer the healing, the stronger the new foundation. Think of it like setting concrete. If it dries too fast, it cracks. The agony you are feeling is the compressive strength being built into your character. You are learning to validate yourself. You are learning to audit character with surgical accuracy. You are learning that your peace is non-negotiable. This slow burn is tempering the steel of your spirit so that next time you will see the shadow before it even touches the floor. The final psychological shift is moving from recovery to discovery. You aren't recovering your old life. Your old life is dead. You are discovering the man who survives the unsurvivable. You are building a sovereign state where loyalty is a requirement for entry, not a favor to be earned. You are moving from being chosen to being the one who chooses. The reality is that the end of healing is indifference. You'll know you're finished when you can say her name and feel nothing. No rage, no sadness, no longing. Just the faint memory of a lesson that was expensive but necessary. You are the architect. You are the power. The time it took was the price of the wisdom. I have a smart reflective question for the men who have endured the fire to reclaim the throne. If you could trade all the pain you felt for the strength and clarity you have right now, knowing that without the betrayal, you would still be the naive man you were before, would you go back to the comfortable lie? Or would you keep the scar to keep the power? Drop a comment below and share your sovereign insight. What was the one habit or one realization that finally broke the fever of your grief? How did you flip the switch from mourning the past to dominating the future? Let the brothers know how you walked through the valley without setting up camp. Your survival guide is the rescue signal for a man lost in the woods. Let's build the Council of Sovereign Men together. If you're still here, you weren't just watching. You were paying attention. That means you're done with noise and ready for clarity. If that's you, subscribe and stay connected to this space. Drop a comment with what stood out. I read them. Stay grounded. Stay aware. I'll see you in the next one.